Hello students, welcome to Pi Academy, the place for mathematics and science. Dear students, you all know that the chapter magnetic effects of electric current has already been completed, right? Yes. You also know that in yesterday's class, we were answering for the questions that are given in blue box. In that, the page number 238 consists of total 3 questions. I had answered for all the 3 questions with detailed information. Even I told you to write the answer for particularly the last 2 questions. Hope that most of you have written it. Anyhow, just listen my explanation carefully. Then after that, you can go for cross-checking. If not written, then go for copying it. Here, the second question, it was given like this. There is an electric oven. Its rating is 2000 watt, that is 2 kilowatt. And when it is operated in the domestic wiring of 220 volt potential difference and 5 amps of current rating, then what result can be expected, right? Then you know that the meaning of that statement is like this. See, there is whatever the wiring is made, it has a potential difference of 220 volt, and in that maximum 5 amps of electric current can flow. If this electric oven is operated, what may happen? If you want to write the results, first you have to find out what amount of current drawn by this electric oven. Let us go for that. Observe it. Here in data we have written the power of electric oven is 2 kilowatt, where kilo means 1000, 1000 into 2, 2000 watt. And the voltage is 200 volt. The current to be drawn is 5 amps. But we do not know the amount of current drawn by electric oven. I is question mark. Dear students, we also know the relationship among power, voltage and current. That is, P is equal to V into I. As we need I, it has been solved. I is equal to P by V. P is 2000 watt and V is 220 volt. Here 1010 get cancelled. Then 200 by 22. Both are even. Cancel them by 2. 2 11s, then 2 hundreds. Divide 100 by 11, you will get 9.09. And what does it indicate? Yes, it indicates that this much amount of current to be drawn by an electric oven. But what maximum amount of current can flow? 5 amps. So the amount of current drawn by an electric oven is more than the limitation. That means the circuit has overload. When it is overloaded, what may happen? If the proper fuse is not connected, then the oven gets damaged. Even there may be a chance of short circuiting as well. If the proper rating fuse is used, then the wire in the fuse get melted. Hence, the circuit is broken. The same thing has been written here. Please observe. The electric oven draws current much more than the current rating 5 amps. Means circuit is overloaded. Due to the excess current, the fuse wire blows and circuit is broken. Clear? Dear students, we are very familiar with the word overload, right? Then with respect to that only, here we have another question. What it is? Observe this. What precautions should be taken to avoid the overloading in case of domestic wiring? Dear students, we all know that in our houses we go for using plenty of electrical appliances. If all are used simultaneously, what will happen? Then the circuit uses they draw the large amount of electric current. So it may lead to overload. Hence, use of all the electrical appliances at a time should be avoided. And even you might have observed that in one particular socket only we go for fixing many plugs. For example, one socket is there, we go for plugging the TV switch, we go for plugging the stabilizer, we go for plugging the laptop wire, then we go for plugging the charger like this. See, in one socket only, when we go for using more number of electrical items also, it gets overloaded. That should be avoided. Next, another very important thing is, here in the domain, if you want to avoid the overload, there must be proper rating of device fuses. There must be separate circuit for the lighting purpose and heating purpose. Clear? Same thing are written here. Observe. Too many appliances should not be connected to a single socket, and too many appliances should not be used at the same time. Then faulty appliances should not be connected. See, use of faulty appliances or connecting faulty appliances, that is also very dangerous. The faulty appliances, there may be there may not be any proper wiring, or else there may be a damage of wiring. So these will lead to even short circuit as well. Then if the appliances are not good, then such appliances will use more amount of current for their functioning. In such case also, it gets overloaded. So that should be avoided. Faulty appliances should not be connected. Then fuse should be connected in the circuit. Obviously, in that circuit, fuse must be there, because when excess amount of electric current is drawn by the appliances, then that means when they cross the limitation, immediately the fuse wire is melted and the circuit is broken. Then all the appliances will be safe. Clear? Yes. Another one. Circuit must be divided into different sections. I have already told that. Okay. So these are the blue box questions. Now we are moving to the very important part of this chapter, that is exercise questions also. Here we have, please don't go for writing, but go through this. In the textbook exercise questions, the very first one is like this. Which of the following correctly describes the magnetic field near a long straight wire? Followed? See, the magnetic field near a long straight wire. Immediately you should be able to recall one important experiment. That is, yes, what it is? Straight conductor carry current. Then, see, magnetic field near a long straight conductor. This is the conductor. How will be the magnetic field? Hope that you are able to recall it. Then, use that. Whatever you are recalling, use that for answering this. See, the field consists of, that is magnetic field, consists of straight lines perpendicular to the wire. B. Straight lines parallel to the wire. C. Radial lines originating from the wire. And D. Concentric circles centered on the wire. Which of these is correct? Do you say that first one, whether they are perpendicular to the wire? It is not at all. If your recalling is proper, then it will be like this. See, this is the straight conductor carrying current, and magnetic field is to be represented with a set of lines, and these are the concentric circles. So they are not parallel, they are not perpendicular. Then radial lines originating from the wire. Of course, radial lines are there, but they are not originate from the wire. It is around that wire. It won't come. Then concentric circles centered on the wire. As wire as the center and the concentric circles are formed. Nothing but concentric field lines are formed. Hence option D is correct. I am putting right line for that. And go through second one. The device used for producing electric current is. Yes, you are very familiar with that. Which device will be used for producing the current? Whether generator, galvanometer, ammeter, motor. If you want to answer for this question, you should be able to recall the usage of all the three. Generator. What is generator? What is the other name of generator? It is nothing but dynamo. So, what is dynamo? It is a device which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. See that? Electrical energy is produced by using mechanical energy. So, then can we say that it is the device used for producing electric current? Yes, it may be. Let us come to know that after recalling this. What about the galvanometer? Galvanometer, it is a device used for detecting electric current. When very small amount of current is flowing in the circuit, that can also be identified by using this galvanometer, current detecting device. Whereas ammeter, it is current measuring device. If some amount of electric current is flowing in the circuit, what amount of current is flowing, that can be found by using ammeter. And one more device, that is motor. It is the device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Which device you are, which electrical appliance you are able to recall which work on this motor? Yes, you are right, it is fan. See, when you switch on, electrical immediately start rotating. That means electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. Electrical energy is used but not produced. Hence, which is current producing device? It is generator. Hence, option A is correct. Dear students, now you go for copying from there to here. Yes. Now let's go for answering few more questions. Observe. The third question is like this. The phenomenon of EMI is dash. These are the four options. Just before going to these four options, once we shall recall the concept EMI. First, recall the full form of EMI. It is electromagnetic induction. That is, electricity is produced by the magnetic field. Means it is possible electricity is produced if and only if there is change in the magnetic field. And we have defined electromagnetic induction as whenever the magnetic field linking with the coil changes, then the current is induced in that coil. Right? This is the definition. And who discovered this EMI, electromagnetic induction? Yes, you are right. He is a great scientist, Michael Faraday. Now please go through this. Option A, the process of charging a body. In case of process of charging a body, what we'll do? We will go for rubbing it. But here, it will not in case of EMI. So option A won't come. The process of generating magnetic field due to a current passing through a coil. See, here, when the current flows through the conductor, magnetic field is developed around it. Magnetic field is produced. What do you call that phenomenon? It is magnetic effect of electric current, but not electromagnetic induction. So, second option will also not come. Third one, producing induced current in a coil due to relative motion between magnet and the coil. Right? See, when you consider the coil and here is the magnet, if there is relative motion, that means you may move the magnet or you may move the coil. In any one of these two, the magnetic field linking with the coil changes. Due to there is change in the magnetic field, current is induced, which is nothing but electromagnetic induction. Hence, option C is right. Do you accept it? Certainly. Then what about option D? Just go through this. The process of rotating a coil of an electric motor. In the electric motor, the coil will start rotating, right? Then it is due to the force exerted on the opposite limbs in the opposite direction, right? As a result of it, it starts rotating. We call this as couple formation, but not electromagnetic induction. Hence, option C is the right answer. Move on to fourth one. Go through this. The essential difference between an AC generator and DC generator is that AC generator means it is nothing but dynamo. Alternating current dynamo and direct current dynamo. What difference is in these two? Here they have given some of them. Please go through these four options. AC generator has an electromagnet, while DC generator has a permanent magnet. Of course, we go for using magnet, but not electromagnet or a permanent magnet. So it won't come. Then DC generator will generate a higher voltage. It is not possible, right? Then because generator will produce the current. Now AC generator will generate a higher voltage. Won't come. Option D. AC generator has slip rings and DC generator has a commutator. Is it right? You just to recall that. Look here. Here I am just showing the AC generator. I'm sorry. This is a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire mounted between the poles of field magnet, and the free ends are connected to two slip rings, SLIP, slip rings, nothing but full rings, two full copper rings. The carbon brushes will also be there, and here load will be used. This is AC generator. Whereas DC generator, very simple. We have learned that how to convert an AC generator into DC generator. In place of full rings, we have to use split rings. Observe. Here, I am going to I'm drawing the DC dynamo or generator. See that. These are the split rings, carbon brushes, and the load will be used, that is galvanometer or as LED bulb. Such things can be used because to check whether the electricity is generated or not. Got it? In AC, full rings or slip rings are used. In DC dynamo, split rings are used. Nothing but this arrangement. It is commutator. Armature with the split rings, that is commutator. Observe, AC generator has slip rings and while DC generator has commutator. So option D is exactly correct. Hope that you have understood. Next, go to fifth one. Fifth one is, see, at the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit, what happens? Options are there. Reduces substantially, does not change, increase, that is current increases heavily, current vary continuously. Dear students, we know that what are the possibilities for the short circuiting. It may be due to damage in the circuit, or when the live wire come in contact with the neutral wire directly, then here what will happen to the resistance? The resistance almost it becomes zero. When the resistance decreases, what about the current? There will be easy flow for the electrons, hence the current increases, right? Here, when the short circuit happens, the resistance almost it becomes zero, hence the current increases heavily, right? So option A won't come. There is change in the current, but then there will be increase in the current, hence option C is correct. Followed? Next, please go through sixth one. Sixth one is state whether the following statements are true or false. Dear student, if you want to answer for these, whether these statements are true or false, you must know the concepts. You must be thorough about the concepts. Yes, we have already learned this chapter, hence we are very familiar with all the concepts. Let us go for answering them. An electric motor converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Is it right? Electric motor. See the motor, it works by using the current. Then where is the generation of electricity? It's impossible, right? So here, electric motor converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. No, it converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Hence it is false. Even you may write the answer if you are more interested in. After writing false, you may write the reason that it is false because an electric motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Followed? Next. Go through second one. An electric generator, nothing but dynamo, works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction, where we generate the electricity by changing the magnetic field. Then what is the work of the dynamo? Again, it generates electricity, it produces electricity. That's why we can say dynamo works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. This is true. Here only I'll write it is true. Answer. Yes. Next, please go through C1. The field at the center of a long circular coil carrying current will be parallel straight lines. Is it right? Then you have to recall the concept that the pattern of magnetic lines of force around a circular conductor carrying current. Just observe it. This is circular conductor carrying current. Then when you pass electric current through this loop, the magnetic field is developed. We have already learned that experiment. And at the near the coil, the field lines will be concentric circles. But at the middle, it will be straight and parallel. Is it not? What do you call this magnetic field lines which are straight and parallel? It is uniform magnetic field. So uniform magnetic field is existed at the middle of the circular conductor carrying current. Hence, whether it is true or false, certainly it is also true. Followed? Hope that you have understood. The field at the center of the long circular coil carrying current will be parallel straight lines. Nothing but uniform magnetic field. It is true. Then option D. So not option D. D1. Observe. A wire with a green insulation is usually the live wire. Is it true? Dear students, in domestic circuit, we go for using different color code wires. What are these? These are live wire, neutral wire, and earth wire. And colors that we use to represent these is different from one to one. If it is live wire, we go for either red or brown insulation. Is it not? Then if it is neutral wire, it may be the black or blue. What about the earth wire? It is green are yellow. Is it not? Observe this. A wire with a green insulation is usually the live wire. But what about the color code for live wire? It is red or brown. Therefore, the given statement is false. Clear? Yes. Hope that you have understood. Now let us go for answering sixth question. Sixth question is, list three sources of magnetic field. We have to write the sources or the objects which produce magnetic field. You are able to tell that. They are, the first one is, when you go for taking any type of magnet, around that there will be a region where the magnetic force is present and the magnetic effect is felt. That is attraction or repulsion. Then what do you say? Yes, that is a source. Hence we can write all magnets. Next, the magnetic field will be present around all the magnets. Next, one more source. Take a conductor in which the current is flowing and bring a magnetic compass nearby that. Do you find any change in the needle? Yes, there will be deflection in the needle. What is the reason for this? Because the compass will be under the influence of magnetic field around the conductor carrying current. Right? So, a conductor in which the current is flowing, then the magnetic field is produced. A current carrying conductor is also a source of magnet. Current carrying conductor, which is nothing but magnetic effect of electric current. Next, another source. Yes, dear students, we all know that Earth acts as a huge bar magnet. And who found out this? He is William Gilbert. So here is the Earth. See, this is Earth and this is geographic north, this is geographic south. Geographic north and geographic south. And William Gilbert has told that Earth acts as a magnet, huge bar magnet like this. Then its south pole is nearby geographic north. This is magnetic south, pole of the magnet. And this is north pole of the magnet, that is magnetic north. It is nearby geographic south. And these lines, see, make an angle of about 15 degree. That is axis of rotation and the magnetic axis. These two will intersect and form an angle of 15 degree. Look here. Here also the lines of force are spread from one pole to another pole like this. See that. And the lines of force do not intersect each other. We know that one. And the lines of force exist from north pole to south pole. That is magnetic north to magnetic south. Can be shown like this. Even the Earth itself is a source of magnetic field. Clear? So here I'll write Earth. Followed? Yes. We have written three sources. Current carrying conductor, in that the conductor may be straight, it may be circular, even it may be the solenoid, whatever it is. Anyhow, if the current flows through the conductor, magnetic field is developed around it. That is the source of the magnetic field. Yes. Hope that you have understood. Please go for copying from here to there. Yes, dear students, observe. Here I have written three more questions. Let us go for answering one by one. It is 8th one. Go through this. How does a solenoid behave like a magnet? And the sub questions are there. It is. Can you determine the north and south poles of a current carrying solenoid with the help of a bar magnet? Yes or no? If yes, you have to explain. If no also, you have to explain. Let us go for answering this one. Dear student, we are very familiar with solenoid, a long coil of insulated copper wire having large number of turnings is called a solenoid. Just for the sake of explanation, I am drawing a solenoid. There will be large number of turnings. Then, how does a solenoid behave like a magnet? See that. If it has to make it to behave like a magnet, it should be connected to terminals of a battery, right? By passing. How? Let me tell you that. Look here. Here, this is positive terminal and this negative terminal. When the current flows from positive terminal to negative terminal, then according to magnetic effects of electric current, the magnetic field is developed around this conductor. Likewise, around the solenoid also, magnetic field is developed. And as there is number of turnings, the magnetic field that is produced inside the solenoid will be straight and parallel, like this. So as a result, the resultant of that is overall magnetic field which is developed around it is very strong. And as the lines of force inside the solenoid, they are straight and parallel, and outside it is like a pattern around the bar magnet. Therefore, we can say that solenoid carrying current behaves like a bar magnet. Hope that you have understood. Yes, once I tell you, how does a solenoid behave like a magnet? Very simple. Just by passing electric current through that. By passing electric current, how it is possible? According to magnetic effect of electric current, magnetic field is developed around the solenoid, and inside the solenoid the lines will be straight and parallel. Therefore, it acts as a magnet. Particularly, it acts as a bar magnet. Okay. Next, sub question is, can you determine the north and south poles of this current carrying solenoid? And with the help of bar magnet. Very simple one. Look here. You go for taking a bar magnet and bring that nearby any one of the end of this solenoid. If it attracts, suppose north pole of the bar magnet is brought at the one end of the solenoid. You may call it as X. Then, if it attracts, then this end becomes south pole. We know that according to the law of magnetic poles, unlike poles of two magnets attract each other, and like poles of two magnets repel each other. Here, if it is attracting means this is, if it is north and this end will be south, then obviously the other end will be north. If it repels, then what happens? If it repels, then that end will be north and other end will be south. Followed? Very simple. I'll go for writing the answer later, and let us focus on these two also. Observe it. See, when is the force experienced by a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field is largest? A student, then you have to recall one of the experiment where the mechanical force is to be studied when the current carrying conductor is kept in the magnetic field. Just observe here. This is an horseshoe magnet. Assume that we have taken a conductor in which the current is flowing, and if this is north and is south, the lines of force will spread from north to south. Then if you go for placing, you may go for placing the conductor carrying current in different ways. If it is placed in this way, then see that lines of force are cut, is it not? So that means it is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. If it is perpendicular, then it experiences the maximum amount of mechanical force. Clear? If it is parallel, no, it will be least. Hope that you have understood. So what we have to write? Say, a conductor carrying current should be kept perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field to obtain the maximum or the largest mechanical force. Next, 10th one. Observe. Think you are sitting in a chamber with your back to one wall. Assume that this is the wall and here you are sitting. Followed? Next. An electron beam moving horizontally from back wall towards the front wall. In front of mine, another wall is there. The electron is moving from this back wall to front wall. Is deflected by a strong magnetic field to your right side. Then what is the direction of the magnetic field? To know that, to find out the direction of the magnetic field, which law or which rule would you like to use? Whether Fleming's right hand rule or left hand rule? Yes, here the current is not producing, current is already there, hence we have to use Fleming's left hand rule to understand this. Look here, an electron beam moving horizontally from back wall, to the front wall, is deflected by the strong magnetic field to your right side. Then what is the direction of the magnetic field? We know that, dear students, if the current is taken along the direction of the electron, we call it as electron current. But the whole world is following conventional current, which is opposite to the direction of flow of electron. The electrons are moving from this wall to that wall. Then what is the direction of the current? From that front wall to this back wall. According to Fleming's left hand rule, the middle finger indicates the direction of current. See that this is the direction of current. Then what is the direction of the magnetic field? Direction of magnetic field is here, the forefinger. It will be upward. Followed? Yes. Now I'll go for writing answer for all the three. Just clarification. With figure I'll go for explaining this. See that. Assume that this is back wall, this is front wall. And the electron is moving from back wall to front wall and it gets deflected towards right. Is it not? Then we have to show the direction of the magnetic field. Look here. Back wall to front wall. But if I hold like this, of course, direction of current is correct. But where is the deflection of the electron? It is on the right side. Observe here. It is direction of deflection. But current I am showing in this direction. The current should be towards the back wall. Current is towards back wall. And this is deflection of the electron. Next, then where is the direction of the magnetic field? It is downward. So answer is downward. So what is the direction of the magnetic field? It is downward. Hope that you have understood. Just now let me go for writing the answer for all these. Dear students, please go for writing the answer for all the three questions. Solenoid behaves like a magnet when current flows through it, because when the current flows through the conductor, magnetic field is developed. Around the solenoid also, field is developed. Therefore, it behaves like a magnet. Particularly, the direction of lines of force inside the solenoid is straight and parallel. There and outside, it is similar to like a bar magnet. Therefore, it behaves like a bar magnet. Then if you want to find the poles of the current carrying solenoid, it is very simple. If you bring north pole of the solenoid, north pole of a bar magnet near any one of the end, if there is an attraction, then obviously that end will be south, because unlike poles attract each other. If there is a repulsion, if north pole of the bar magnet is there, then north pole of the solenoid will also be there. That end will be considered as a north, and its opposite end will be south. That has been written. Next, ninth one. When the mechanical force experienced by the current carrying conductor kept in the magnetic field is largest, it is when it is placed perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. Next, 10th one that I have already explained. See, electron will travel from back wall to front wall, but the direction of current will be in the opposite direction. Then, and here it gets deflected on the right side. Hence, the direction of magnetic field will be downward. That has been mentioned here. Just please copy from there to here. Students, observe this. The 11th question is like this. Draw a level diagram of an electric motor. One thing. And the two more sub questions are there. Explain its principle and working. And one more sub question. What is the function of split rings in an electric motor? Now, let us go for answering these one by one. Draw a leveled diagram of an electric motor. Dear students, electric motor, it is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, right? Now let me draw that. Observe this carefully. It's very simple, but when you are drawing, you must use scale and pencil. Here, these are the two poles of a strong magnet, which is to be used as a strong magnet, is also called field magnet. It is nothing but horseshoe magnet. Here, I take this as north pole and it as south pole. We will go for taking a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire and is mounted between the poles of horseshoe magnet. And the free ends of the wire are connected to two split rings. That is two half rings. See that these are the two half rings. One copper ring is cut into two parts, and let us go for naming them as S1 and S2, split ring 1 and split ring 2, which are in contact with the sliding carbon brushes. Let us go for naming them as B1 and B2, and connect these carbon brushes to the terminals of a battery along with the switch. Here I draw the switch. Followed. Here only I have explained the construction. And ABCD. ABCD is a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire. It is just armature. If it is connected to, if the free ends of this is connected to split rings, then it is considered as a commutator. This is the diagram. Leveling is so simple. See, N and S are the poles of horseshoe magnet. ABCD is a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire. S1 and S2 are two half rings or split rings. B1 and B2 are two carbon brushes. Whereas this is W is a connecting wire. BA, this is battery, and it is K means plug key or switch. This is the diagram. Next, what is there? Explain its principle. What is its principle? Dear students, we all know that when the conductor carrying current kept in the magnetic field, it experiences the mechanical force. Here also, when the current flows through this, it starts rotating. That is, electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. Followed? Once I tell you, the principle is a conductor carrying current kept in the magnetic field experiences the mechanical force. Followed? Next, its working. Already it has been explained during the theory class only. Anyway, once I just go for explaining it in brief. Working, observe it. When the current from positive terminal of a battery, it enters to the armature ABCD through B1. Got it? From B1 it enters to A, then here the current flows from A to B, then B to C, then C to D. Next, after that what happens? Observe it. Then the current comes to B2, then current finally it comes to negative terminal. Like this, it will go on flowing. But how is this possible? Here, observe it. We know that when the conductor carrying current kept in the magnetic field experiences the mechanical force. Here also, this armature is experiencing the mechanical force. The direction of mechanical force can be known by using Fleming's left hand rule. Observe here, the direction of magnetic field is from north pole to south pole, but current is flowing in the upward direction. See that. Middle finger indicates the direction of flow of current. Current is flowing A to B. Then where the mechanical force is acting? It is acting on the limb AB, downward or upward direction. It is downward direction. This is the force. Followed, I call it as F1. See, once you observe that, lines of force from north to south, current is flowing from A to B, mechanical force is acting on the limb AB in the downward direction. Next, it flows through BC, then it flows through CD. When the current is flowing in the downward direction, that is from C to D, now observe the mechanical force, it is acting upward from below the arm CD. I call this force as F2. And please do remember these two forces. Look here. These two forces act on the opposite limbs in the opposite direction. One is from one is toward downward and another one is from upward. Therefore, the coils start rotating. In which direction? Yes, in anti-clockwise direction. Clear? Here the coils start rotating and we call this as couple formation. If two forces, same magnitude forces act on the opposite limbs in the opposite direction, then the coils start rotating. This is known as couple formation. See, during first half rotation, observe it. Now current is flowing through A, B, C, D. Then during after first half rotation, then S1 comes in contact with B2. Then current flows through B2 to from B2 to the negative terminal. Whereas after half rotation, then current from positive terminal enters to the coil through B1 and flows through D, C, B, A. Got it? Now, this time, the mechanical force acting on the limb CD in the downward direction and on the AB from the in the upward direction. Again, the coils keep rotating in the anti-clockwise direction only. But here, during every half rotation, the direction of current is changing. Once it flows through ABCD, next it flows through DCBA. It is due to these split rings. So the split ring reverses the direction of current in the armature, clear, or in the coil. So this is principle and working. Then the function of split rings. Function of split ring is it reverses the direction of current in the coil. Once it flows through ABCD, next it flows through DCBA. Here I'll write that is split ring. Split ring. Hope that you will write yourself. Once I tell the working, very simple. See, when the current is allowed to flow to the coil through B1, then first it flows through AB, then BC, then CD, then finally it comes to negative terminal. But here the direction of mechanical force can be known by using Fleming's left-hand rule. According to Fleming's left-hand rule, here the mechanical force act on the side AB, the downward direction, and when the current flows through the arm CD, the mechanical force act on CD from upward direction. Then the coil start rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. During half rotation, then S2 comes in contact with B1 and S1 comes in contact with B2. Current in the external circuit flows from again B2 to the negative terminal. During the next half rotation, current flows through DCBA. Then mechanical force acts on the link CD in the downward direction and BA in the upward direction. Again the coil start rotating, continue to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction, and this time now S2 comes in contact with B2 and S1 comes in contact with B1. Again the current in the external circuit flows to the negative terminal. So this is the working of an electric motor. And another one is, just I have already told you, the function of split ring. It is during every half rotation, the direction of current reverses or changes in the armature. First it flows through ABCD, after half rotation flows through DCBA. Got it? Yes. Now we are moving to the next question, and write the explanation yourself just by using the notes. Dear students, observe. Here we have two more questions. It is 12th one. The question is like this. Name some devices in which electric motors are used. Just we have already got the information about electric motor. It is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. That means it uses the electrical energy to run some of the electrical appliances. Now we have to give some example for that. Let us go for writing. Say for ceiling and for wall, for movement of the air, we go for using the device where the electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. What it is? Yes, it is an electric fan. Likewise, even in your house, you go for using many electrical appliances where the electric motor is used. That is one more. That is, it is mixer, and even in the grinder, electric grinder, motor will be used. Computer, this will be used, and even in MP3 player, electric motor is used. Like that, you can give so many examples. Next, go through 13th question. The 13th question is like this. A coil of insulated copper wire is connected to a galvanometer. What will happen if a bar magnet is pushed into the coil, and second one withdrawn from the coil, and third one is held stationary inside the coil. Once you go through the statement, a coil of insulated copper wire is connected to a galvanometer. Here I am going to draw that. Observe it. This is the coil and it is connected to the terminals of a galvanometer. Then the sub questions are like this. What will happen if a bar magnet is, first one, pushed into the coil? See that I am going to take a bar magnet. It is to be pushed into the coil. Could you tell what may happen? Yes. Dear students, we all know that around the bar magnet there is a region where the magnetic force is present and the magnetic effect is felt. What it is? Yes, magnetic field. And is it possible to see the magnetic field? No. Hence, they are to be represented with set of lines, and these lines are called magnetic field lines. Will there be any change in the magnetic field lines when the bar magnet is inserted into the coil? Certainly. See, the field lines are cut by the turnings of the coil. As a result of it, there is change in the magnetic field. When the magnetic field linking with the coil, what will happen? When the magnetic field linking with the coil changes, yes, the current is induced in the coil. How do you come to know that? We have a device to detect the presence of current, that is galvanometer. See here, the needle in the galvanometer will deflect on one side. Clear? Okay. Next, what happens if a bar magnet is withdrawn from the coil? If it is taken out from the coil, again here I will draw. Just keep observing. Here also free ends are connected to terminals of a galvanometer. Now this time we are going to take out the bar magnet from the coil. Again there is change in the magnetic field linking with the coil. Hence current is induced, and that can be known by observing the needle in the galvanometer. The needle in the galvanometer momentarily deflects, but this time it will be in the opposite direction. Got it? And one more. What happens if a bar magnet is held stationary inside the coil? See, this is the coil. The free ends are connected to the galvanometer. This time I am going to place the bar magnet inside the coil at rest. Stationary means it is at rest. It is not at all moving. When the bar magnet is not moving, will there be any change in the magnetic field linking with the coil? Not at all. If there is, magnetic field is completely ceased. If there is no change in the magnetic field, no current is induced. In that time, the needle in the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Hope that you have understood. Okay, now let me go for writing answer for all these one by one. The first one is, first very simple thing. One important point is to be written. That is, we know that the magnetic field linking with the coil changes, then the current is induced in the coil. Then what do you call that current? Yes, it is induced current. Here, let us go for writing answer for all the three. First one, when it is pushed inside the coil, what happens? Magnetic field changes and current is induced in the coil. When the current is induced in the coil, that can be known by observing the needle in the galvanometer. So, a needle in the galvanometer deflects towards one direction. Next, second, when it is withdrawn from the coil, then again there is change in the magnetic field. Again, magnetic field changes and current is induced in the coil, and as a result the needle in the galvanometer momentarily deflects in the opposite direction. Next, third one, when the bar magnet is placed stationary inside the coil, here there is no change in the magnetic field. The magnetic field, no change in the magnetic field, therefore current is not induced, and no current is induced. Then a needle in the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Here, zero deflection. Hope that you have understood. Yes, you may go for copying from here to there. Okay, dear students, hope that you have written, and today we have answered nearly 13 questions. In that exercise, still 7 more are there. Let us go for answering them in tomorrow's class. And please work out whatever the questions we have answered today without fail, because all the questions are very important in the examination point of view. Yes, with this, let us stop the class. Thank you very much.